Wow, was I expecting that? Absolutely not. If you guys didn't hear already, Rem Pitlick from the Montreal Canadiens was just placed on waivers. Pretty much, if you don't already know who Rem Pitlick is, we picked him up off waivers last season and he had an incredible half of a season with us. But obviously, it was a little unsustainable. If you looked at the numbers, if you looked at the analytics, you could tell that his points and his shooting percentages were all unsustainable and they would drop eventually. But man, we didn't think that they would drop as much as they have been this season. He's currently pointless in the games he's played, and he's been a healthy scratch multiple times. So just not the best start for Rem Pitlick. Now you may ask, why was he waived though? There are worse players on the team. Now let me explain why. So there's actually good news to this waive in the end, which I'll get into that later. But basically, Evgeny Dadonov was coming off of IR, which means they needed to make room for him. So their plan is to send Rem Pitlick, I believe, to Laval. But to do that, you have to waive them. And if they clear waivers, then I'm pretty sure they get sent down to Laval. But there's obviously the risk that another team picks him up, which I believe might happen. Because a lot of teams can look at Pitlick and look at his season last year and be like, you know what? This is a nice, cheap acquisition that might benefit us in the long run. So yeah, the plan, I believe, is to send him down to Laval. It's just more complicated than obviously just sending him down. As for why it wasn't, let's say, Dadonov or Hoffman, well, that's because what's the point of sending them down to Laval? They're not going to benefit down there. It's not going to make the team down there any better. It's not going to be great. At least Rem Pitlick, he'll boost the team down there. He may get better and find his game again, and they can finally bring him back up. There's some pros and cons to it, but Evgeny Dadonov and Mike Hoffman, it would be no reason for them to be down there. And the point of having them on our roster is to flip them at the deadline anyways. So you can't flip them at the deadline if they're playing in the AHL. So that's pretty much it. It's unfortunate to see Rem Pitlick potentially go. I do think he will be claimed. But there is some good news that comes with this. And that good news is that Juraj Slafkovsky will be playing his 10th game, which means it's more than likely that he will spend the season here in Montreal. And man, has he worked for his time. He has worked for this opportunity. Because the easiest choice that they could have done was to send Juraj Slafkovsky down to Laval to bring Dadonov off of IR. That would have been the simplest, easiest choice, especially with the timing of Slafkovsky's 10th game coming up. It was perfect timing to do the easiest thing and send Slaf down. But what they did was they kept him up, which is good news because that means Slafkovsky will be playing the season with us, at least for the most part. So yeah, that is pretty much the whole situation. We'll know by tomorrow, I believe, if Rem stays, well, at least gets sent down to Laval because he clears waivers, or obviously the other option where he gets claimed by another team. Like I said, I think he's going to get claimed. It's unfortunate, but the good news is that comes out of this is that Slafkovsky is apparently going to play the season with us. So I guess you could look at it as some good and bad news together. Anyways, guys, if you did enjoy this short video, don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Take care.